within. And the Washington Post reports that some Democrats have purchased bulletproof vests. They're also proposing a plan to fine any member of the House who dodges the newly installed metal detectors over concerns a member of Congress might be trying to bring a gun onto the House floor. With me now is Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, of Washington. Thank you very much for joining us, Congresswoman. I want to start there with the threats to personal safety. AOC has raised this in connection to some of your Republican colleagues. We just had Cori Bush tweet about how she asked Nancy Pelosi and has been granted a move of offices because of a confrontation that she had with Marjorie Taylor Greene in the hall. She said Greene and her staff berated her in the hallway and targeted her and others on social media. She's moving out of fears for her own safety. How do you feel?
Well, I think it's very real. I think we all feel this tension of our colleagues who are continuing to not admit that Joe Biden won the election, are continuing to engage with white nationalist extremist groups that were part of the insurrection on the Capitol, are continuing to tie themselves to Donald Trump, the president who incited the insurrection, the most violent attack on the Capitol since the War of 1812. And the reality is that there are too many members of the Republican Party who are refusing to wear masks, are refusing to go through metal detectors. Katie, you know you can't even get into a baseball game without going through a metal detector. And here we are with these colleagues who are trying to bring guns onto the floor and refusing to follow the laws that have been established to be a member of Congress. So it is real. The security threat to us individually, in our homes, in our districts, and on the floor are real. And so is the rage at Republicans who are choosing a cult party and a cult figure over the Constitution. And that's what it is. So, I have a lot of respect for Liz Cheney, for Adam Kinzinger, for Republicans who understand that their number one duty is to make sure that we preserve our Constitution and our democracy. And Donald Trump, if Republicans choose to go along with Donald Trump, they are choosing to go along with a president who incited insurrection and who is actively courting a rising of the Confederacy and, frankly, a civil war in our country. So it is a very difficult time on Capitol Hill.
And Democrats have the majority, so you don't need Republicans to legislate. But do you see any possibility for any bipartisan cooperation? Or is there anybody in the House right now that you can work with?
Well, there are a small number of Republicans who did not go along with all of this, and I think it has only strengthened our resolve to work with those Republicans. But we should be really clear, that's a very small list. We have lists of Republican members who voted to overturn the elections, even after the insurrection, who gave what appears to be aid and assistance and planning to insurrectionists and who are continuing to support Donald Trump. And I can tell you that across the Democratic caucus, there are many of us who feel that we simply cannot work with those individuals. So it is a difficult time, but we can't act like this is normal. And at the end of the day, let's differentiate between the people across the United States, many of whom want to see the minimum wage raised, even if they are Republican, even if they voted for Donald Trump. They want to see the vaccine distributed and COVID taken on. They want to see infrastructure investment. And if Republicans in the Senate and the House are going to refuse to go along with those unified proposals that Joe Biden is pushing and that Democrats are pushing, then we will have to go it alone. But we are not going to succumb to this moment of, really terribly troubling times for our country. Katie, the road to fascism is littered with moments where people either did not speak up or they went along with what was being proposed. And I do fear for our country in this moment.
Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, thank you very much for joining us and good luck out there. Stay safe.